We'll come up with a poll question today. Ross Tucker, CBS Sports, Westwood One, NFL college football analyst, host of the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. He was on the sidelines yesterday, sideline reporter for Westwood One. And he had the duties there with the NFC title game between the Commanders and the Eagles. When did the game change for you yesterday?
Trying to remember the exact situation. I think probably the 4th and 5 throw from Jalen Hurts to A.J. Brown down the sideline. I think it was 14-12. I might be wrong. I think it was 14-12, 4th and 5. I got to be honest with you, Dan. I thought they were just hard counting him. I didn't think they were going to go for it. I mean, because he tried to hard count him twice. The Commanders, to their credit, didn't jump. So he throws a deep fade down the sideline. That's not necessarily a high percentage throw, but Hurts, who, by the way, had his best game in a couple months, dropped it right in the bucket. Perfect to A.J. Brown. So they go and they score a touchdown after that. Then they kick off. Will Shipley rocks McNichols, fumble, another touchdown. Game was kind of over in those last 2 minutes. It was the throw to Brown, the ensuing fumble, another touchdown. Those two touchdowns in the last 2 minutes kind of ended the game.
Is there a defense to stop Saquon Barkley?
Such a good question, because they actually stop him a lot when you watch until he goes 70. It's like one of the craziest things. I honestly, Dan, I don't remember seeing this before. There's some crazy stats out there. I think he has 7 touchdown runs over 60 yards this year. The whole rest of the NFL maybe has 10 or 7. I mean, I can't remember seeing a guy breaking this many long touchdown runs in general, and then in particular in big games, in big spot. It was the first play of the game. The Commanders are all geared up to stop him. And the reason why it happens is because when you load the box, you only have that one deep safety. You're actually putting that guy in a bad spot. That's why so often it's like a 2-yard gain or a 3-yard gain. They actually stuff him a lot because they got a lot of guys up there. But if he gets past the second level and all you have is that one safety in the middle of the field, good luck to that guy, because that is a very tall task, taking down Saquon Barkley. It's amazing. You can almost feel it's going to happen almost every game.
I think the comp I would use, even though he didn't play in many big games, is Barry Sanders, because Barry would be 2 yards, -1, 3 yards, 5, 66. That sort of, you're playing bingo with Barry. It'd be like 11, 19, 2, 1, 66. Touchdown.
You know what, Dan? It's such a good point. Now, they obviously have different styles as runners, but you're 1,000% correct. Barry Sanders was not like a sustaining running back. I remember the criticism of Barry Sanders at times was, it's also 2nd and 12 a lot. You know what I mean? I mean, he would lose 2 yards. I have that sometimes with Saquon. They're different style runners, but at times I wonder about his vision. He does have some lost yardage or some runs where he doesn't have as many 5 to 10 yard runs, I feel like, as you would think. But maybe that's just that is a great comp. And they both have maybe the 2 biggest pair of thighs we've ever seen. So evidently that's what you want. You want gigantic thighs, and then you want to be able to take it 60 yards seemingly once or twice a game.
The thighs go together, just letting you know. It's rare if you have one big thigh and then one small thigh. Just this way. It's a pair of big thighs. Paulie, check that if you can, please.
Checking.
Okay, thank you. As far as this, what sometimes gets lost when you have a story like this, the Commanders, great year, bad day. But looking at building for the future, what do you see with the Commanders before we say goodbye to them?
Oh, man, I would be very, very excited. Very excited. Because number one, a lot of the guys they brought in this year with the new GM, Adam Peters, they panned out. I mean, you think about Frankie Louvu, awesome. Bringing in guys like Bobby Wagner, Jeremy Chin did a lot of good things. The draft picks, I mean, Jaden Daniels, obviously a home run, but how about Sainris still in the second round? And they traded down in the second round to get Sainris still. So if you're a Commanders fan right now, you know that the future is bright, and you know you were just outgunned yesterday. I mean, I talked to prepping for the game, Dan. I talked to, I don't know, 3 or 4 personnel executives. Depending on who I spoke to, they said between 3 to 5 Commanders would start for the Eagles.
Oh,
I mean, think about that. Jonathan Allen would start next to Jalen Carter. Luvu would start next to Zach Bond. Obviously, Jaden Daniels would start, although Hurts played very well. But the fact remains, it's hard to win a game if you only have 3 to 5 guys that would even start for the other team. The Eagles are just that loaded. And then you have the fumbles, and Hurts plays the best he has. I mean, good luck. I mean, that's how you lose by 30 points.
and I loved on ESPN.com yesterday a long article about Daniel Snyder and how he's miserable. Imagine you get $6 billion and you on your yacht somewhere in the south of France and you're watching this and he's miserable because they succeeded once they got rid of you. God, wouldn't you love to have a camera on him as he's watching the Commanders on his yacht? Oh,
I said this before the game yesterday. I would have paid money for a Dan Snyder cast, or have him come to the game and give him a box. Give him a box for free and give him the Taylor Swift treatment. You know, like every time the Chiefs score or something happens, they show Taylor Swift in the suite. Every time the Commanders do something well or Jaden Daniels runs for a touchdown, show Dan Snyder just like throwing his pen and being all upset. I mean, the timing of this, it's just incredible. It really is. I'm so excited. You know, I played there twice. You can see, Dan, the 2 helmets behind me.
Yeah.
I started my career there and finished it there. So I'm just so happy for those people down there. I mean, when I was there, and you know this, but when I was there, they had like a big season ticket waiting list. It was cool to play for the Redskins, right? I went to a game a couple years ago. The stadium was a half full, and out of the half people that are there, half of them were for the other team. I mean, I've never seen in pro sports that erosion of a fan base. They have single-handedly brought it back now with Jaden Daniels. I'm thrilled for those people down there.
Talking to Ross Tucker, he was there for Westwood One. He was the sideline reporter for the Commanders and the Eagles. As for the AFC, Mahomes was good, but it feels like the role players were wonderful. Like, they don't have go-to guys. Like Kareem Hunt, anybody could have had him. Kelsey wasn't the go-to guy yesterday. I didn't know Hollywood Brown was on the Chiefs. It was like one of those where I went, oh, that's right. I mean, it's remarkable, and it's not just Chris Jones on defense. They have the Patriot way, the old Patriot way, where plug and play, and they just seem to figure it out. And they all pick their moments. What stood out for you with Kansas City's win?
Well, and also they're just extremely well coached, right? I mean, think about the last 2 minutes, okay? The 4th and 5 for Josh Allen. They bring that corner blitz. Now, I don't know why the Bills didn't have a better answer for the corner blitz there. You know, Spagnuolo likes to do it, but the guy came scot-free and Josh Allen heaved it. Now, Kincaid probably still should have caught it, but and think about those 2 third down conversions where both times Mahomes has Pacheco and Pirine wide open in the flat. I mean, I think Andy Reid and Spags are really, really good. The other thing that jumped out to me, you know, you got to make the critical plays against the Chiefs. I know a lot of Bills fans, and I love those people. That was my favorite team I played for. That's that helmet right there. And I love those people. And there's a lot of talk about the spot on the quarterback sneak, and I get it. What I would say is, if you're the Bills, I'm a big believer in personal accountability, right? Like, don't let Mahomes go up and down the field and score 30 points for the first time all season, right? Or how about if you're Cole Bishop, don't let Xavier Worthy rip the ball away from you. If you're Kincaid, catch the ball. If you're Josh Allen and Curtis Samuel's on the crossing route, there's nobody within 10 yards of him. That's probably a 40-yard play. Put the ball on them and let them run. Don't get stuffed 3 times on quarterback sneak. The Bills had plenty of chances to win that game. And for whatever reason, teams do not make the critical plays to win the game against the Chiefs. They just, it's like a voodoo doll or something. They don't do it, and the Chiefs do. So the Chiefs deserve to win.
You got 3.5 minutes. You got 3 timeouts. You got the 2-minute warning. The Bills had a chance there. That's what you want. That's what MVPs want. The ball in their hands. And, they couldn't come up with the big plays. You're right. The spot on the push-tush with Josh Allen, are we going to get to the point where we put a chip in the football? I've been saying this for years. I don't understand. We have all this modern technology, and it just seems like, hey, let's bring out the chain gang, or it's a random spot. And I know I'm using this as a launching pad for this, but this is what happens. You have a big moment where we question the spot, and it leads to something. Is it going to lead to a chip in the football?
So a couple things, Dan. This is a really important point for football moving forward, okay? Being on the sideline yesterday, I'd say almost half the time, Dan, I'm right behind the side judge or the field judge. It's almost impossible. The football field is 53 1/3 yards wide. So these guys are like 28 yards away from these quarterback sneaks. And there's 15 guys, gigantic human beings in there, to be able to see where the ball is, when the guy's shin or knee or elbow or forearm is down. It's almost impossible. You go back and watch the Josh Allen one. The side judge comes in on this side of the 40. The field judge comes in on the other side of the 40. And then as they come in, they usually look at each other and they try to even it out. The thing is, two thoughts on this that are super important. Number one, if you run a quarterback sneak, you really are at the mercy of the side judge and field judge. You run a quarterback power or a quarterback sweep like they did, and you have Josh Allen just get outside or power through and clearly get over it. When you do the sneak, you're putting it in the hands of the officials a little bit. As far as the technology, so this is something that a lot of people don't know. And I saw Sam Schwartzstein from Amazon posting, there's been a chip in the ball for 4 years, which is why they know a lot of the things they know about tracking and all that stuff. It's very complicated. It's not tennis, okay, where it's a circular ball and, you have that Hawkeye vision. You can see where the ball goes, right? It's more complicated than that, because even if you have the chip in the ball, it's not a sphere, it's an oblong ball, but you still need to know when the body part touches the ground, right? Like the technology doesn't know if it's the shin or the knee or the forearm. It's a much more complicated solution than I think most people, they've been working on it. Trust me, they are working on it, but it's a lot easier said than done.
That's great. Didn't even think of that. Those are all great points. I know that you delivered a pie to the face of a Notre Dame fan who thought Notre Dame would win a national title. How did that come about?
So I live in central Pennsylvania, Harrisburg, Hershey area. I got a random email to rosstucker.com. Will you smash a pie in my face? I'm doing it for the Dan Patrick Show. I was like, I don't know who this guy is. I'm like, yeah, probably not. I don't know. Emails me again. What do you think? I'm like, okay. I guess he wants to be on the look-in, and he lives in the area. So my daughter had to go to a birthday party at Get Air on Saturday. I said, hey, the birthday party starts at 3:30. I'll meet you, because I don't know who this guy is. I'll meet you outside Get Air at 3:30. He's there with his wife. My daughter videoed it. She got to put the whipped cream in. I got to tell you, that's one of the most satisfying things I've ever done in my life. That is a great feeling. I want to make a list now of people I want to smash in the face with a pie. Like anybody the older guys that picked on me, those one or two girls that wouldn't date me. Like, I just want to take pies and smash it in all their faces. That was so satisfying.
You were a little rough on him, though. Like, yeah.
Was it too hard?
Yeah.
Did I go too hard?
Yeah.
Okay, he said, let me have it. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know the proper,
Yeah. The centrifugal force, I think, knocked him back. I say this from experience. Michael Irvin hit me with a pie and it drew blood. Like he had no idea. He was like giving me the Heisman there. So just the next time, if it comes up, just be a little more cognizant of you're a little bit bigger than whoever you're going to hit.
I was very concerned about getting it on my sweatshirt. So I was trying to hit him and bounce back as fast as I could.
Great to talk to you. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you, Ross.
Sounds great. I can't wait to see you guys in person.
That's Ross Tucker, CBS Sports, Westwood One. NFL.
Sounds great. Can't wait to see you in person. Bye.